to have a little educational video today, ladies and gentlemen, on one of our free chart indicators, alpha trading, alpha laser returns by our world famous coder wolves. So what is the alpha laser returns? Okay, first off, it's a 100% free indicator on the free indicator chart. Okay, now how do you use this indicators? Okay, is what it's doing, it's displaying 3 standard deviation bands with the returns from the mean, right? So you got 3 standard deviation bands around the return of the mean. The first band is set to 68.3%, second band is set to 95.4%, and the third band is set to 99.7%. Now listen, you don't want to use this indicator blindly. I use this along with the other returns indicators to recognize divergence between price action and returns. Does it play out? It does. It always plays out. I can show you a million examples here how it does play out. But if you go through all our returns oscillators on our published scripts, I've got a lot of examples of divergence. First of all, you need to know what divergence is. So if you're talking about bear divergence, you're talking about higher high data sets of price action and lower highs on return candles. And you will see div play out every time when you get lower lows or lower highs on your return indicators, because that's telling you over a long-term trend of a time series that there is that divergence building. And not only are you getting small divergence plays every data set, before you know it, they get bigger, and then you get a major flush, because look how big this return candle is way back here. There's nothing ever even close. There was during this entire long-term trend to the upside to 65K, there was nothing but bear div building on the returns and price action. And finally, it built enough, and we had a $30,000 flush, right? Before that, I think it was about a 15K flush. They usually will get bigger every time. These were very similar. Then we got bigger. Then we had a big flush, right? Then we had a bunch of distribution going on, another big flush, some more distribution. Here's the thing with distribution though. This is these high frequency trading firms letting retail traders buy into their limit sells. They're trying to get as much profit as possible. And as long as retail traders are literally market buying, the worst thing you could do as a retail trader is market buy anything. The fact that they even have a market buy in there, it should just be for stop losses and getting and taking profit. But they put market buys in there because they know retail traders are going to be like, oh, limit orders are too hard to get filled because I'm a knucklehead traditional technical analysis trader and I don't know how to get a good entry. So my limit orders never get, the only way I ever get an order in is if I market. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. You get enough distribution where these retail traders are literally market buying into limit sells. At some point, the high frequency trading firm algos are like, okay, we made enough profit. Turn to buy mode on. That's exactly what you're seeing right now, right? Buy mode on. So that being said, it's a very easy indicator to set up, self-explanatory. It's already set up for you, to be honest, right? There's actually a moving average in here too, but I mainly use this indicator for divergence. I want to know when the return on my investment is diminishing, and you can use this on any time frame. Trust me, if I am down here and I'm trading the 15-minute chart and I'm getting entries on the 5-minute, you guys, this chart's on a 15-minute. This is already on a 15-minute, displaying a lot of higher time frame standard deviation levels and price action volatility ranges. What time is it? Traditional futures are getting ready to close. Hold on, check something. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna wait till later. Woo! Let's see here. So yeah, you got to understand that. Okay, you've got to understand that you want to use this indicator on whatever time frame that you're trading, and that's how you're going to be able to take your profits. Is when you're seeing those returns start to diminish. The divergence has been building up, right? So say, and it all works together, because at the same time I'm looking for divergence between this and this. If I'm on a fit first, let me turn all these PB. Whoops. I'm going to drop down here on the chart. Let's go. Reset price gap. So now I know I've got current candle 15-minute levels of standard deviation and pure Laplace deviation, right? Like, look at this candle right here. This, and I guarantee I did not make this trade, but if I would have actually been in a scalping session, just by looking at the signature of what just happened right here, you guys, look, you open up this 15-minute candle. I guarantee you, I go to a 5-minute chart because I'm already recognizing from we opened up over here and we had a drop down past the 2SD, no, 1SD normal distribution on the 15, and it bounced. Right at that moment, I'm flying to the 5-minute chart. I'm flying to it. And I would almost guarantee you the returns oscillators were probably close to the top side right here, or they were already heading down. Because like I said, the returns will act before price action. Look how good of an entry this would have been. Look when this big 15-minute candle opens up. Where does it pull back to the dollar? The first standard deviation, normal distribution. I'm going to recognize that on all the different charts I'm looking at, and I'm probably front running that by about $25, and I'm putting a limit buy in. Look how that would have paid off. Where would I have taken my profit, right? Where would I have taken my profit? This is kind of a no-brainer. Where am I taking profit? I'm taking profit at the second standard deviation. Right there. Bam. Second standard deviation. So I'm in that trade approximately probably at about 38,350. I'm taking profit $425 above that. What if you're 3 Bitcoin long right there on the $400 move? Do the math. If you're 4 Bitcoin long on a say you're let's make it easy. You're 3 Bitcoin long on a $400 move. You just made $1,200 in probably about 12 minutes. Huh? Small potatoes, right? $100 a minute. Who makes $100 a minute? Crooked politicians. Other than that, who? So this is how I can literally, here's another example over here, how this was setting up too on this big 15-minute. These are the signatures that I'm going to recognize on a 15-minute chart, and I'm going to drop to a 5-minute, right? And then look, so look at this. You get the big return candle, right? You get the big price action candle. Bullish candle, higher high. Bullish candle, higher high. Bullish candle, higher high. Returns candle, higher low. Return candle, higher low. Return candle, higher low. Do you see the divergence building? I'm already out of the damn trade 80% of the time. But if I'm seeing something in the other indicators that is telling me I can maximize my profit, you can damn sure bet I was out of that trade probably maybe on this wick, definitely probably by this wick. But just seeing, I don't like to lose any of the profit. So chances are I would have been out the rest of that 20% probably on this candle, because I would have recognized, I mean, you can already see this candle, higher high on this candle, return candle high, lower high here. That's pretty much telling you. But if you see another signature using all the indicators together, you can squeeze some more profit out. You're way gone by now. This this return on your investment is disappearing rapidly. Why sit in that trade? What happens right now? What time is it? There's 9 minutes left on this 15-minute candle. What if this 15-minute candle hits a 4SD normal distribution? Right there. You're going to be, I would have taken profit 80% of the time right here. So I have my profit. What if this candle dumps right here? You're screwed. You're losing a bunch of your profit. That's why we take profit as volatility traders. That's why we use indicators like the alpha laser returns to recognize when your return on your investment is diminishing, right? Just like this move right here. Look at the lower highs. Look at the lower highs on the return candles. Look at the higher highs on the price action candle. Then we get a pullback right here. Right now, all the way it went to about right there. So, but chances are, the way I trade fast. I take my profit early most of the times because I'm not emotionally attached to it. If I don't see something that's really giving me a signature that I can maximize more profit, I'm out on that 15-minute big candle. All right, and you're making it's ridiculous how much money you can make trading this way if you just learn how to do it. But
run through the settings.
Simple indicator. Yeah, it's a simple indicator to use. Pretty much already set up for you, right? We've got it. Don't mess with the source. Just leave it on close, right? You don't need to source this indicator to anything else, in my opinion. You can mess with it if you want. You ever get lost? Just hit default, reset settings, and it'll set it back to whatever our coder set as default. So, source is on close. Look back the length, right? That's your sample length. That's how many bars back, right? You want to create this off of, and it's 30. Set on 30. I like it on 30, right? Returns plot width. This is going to be when you have your returns set on a line, right? So you don't have to worry about that if you have it on candles, because or if you have it on columns. My bad. I'm sitting there talking on price action. If you have it on columns, you don't have to worry about returns plot width. But if you have it set to a line, that will increase the thickness of the line, okay? This is where returns plot style options. You can have it in columns, circles, crosses, step line, histogram, area, right? And all you got to do, like boom, if I change it to area, it goes to area. Here, I'll show you. Change it to a line, goes to a line. You want to thicken that baby up a little bit, put it on a 4. See it get brighter? Powerful. Powerful alpha trading inputs. Let me get this back on columns. Ooh, it's smoky today. Oh, one drink. Now this right here, this is what the bands are set to. This is built into the code. Don't even have to mess with this. Now, say you want the first band, say you only want to use 2 bands. You don't care about the first standard deviation, right? You just want 2 bands. You want the second and third. Just turn off the first. It's not like you have to change this to 2, this to 3, and turn this off. You've got all 3 here. If you don't want the first, just turn off the first. Use the second and third, right? You want to know when we get up over the 90% range, right? Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. So you can change it. You can change it to 1.5, 2, 3, whatever standard deviation you want. Like down here, if you want the third band, here, I'll just change them like this. If you want a 4th standard deviation, boom, it moves it out 4 SDs. You want a 5th? Boom, move it out to 5th standard deviation. That's just going to change what standard deviation levels you want the bands at. Do you want the returns MA on or off? I usually don't use it. It is on though. It doesn't bother me too much. And this is the length for the returns MA. And do you want the Jurek MA turned on? One of our coders loves the Jurek. I've kind of got a little bit of an affinity to it now as well. You can turn it on and off there. It's got the different phases for Jurek. It's got just like you have up here for the plot width. If you want the returns online like that, we also have the plot width for the MA. So you don't have to actually go into the setting, into the colors to make it bigger. You can do it right here, right, with the plot width, MA plot width. MA plot style options. How do you want your MA? Do you want it on a line? Do you want it circles? Right? Do you want it crossed? Do you want it a step line? Pretty self-explanatory. These are very, very easy to set up. Now, are you having trouble because of your color choices seeing your MA? You can turn on the MA border. It's going to put a black border around. So if you use a light colored chart, it will separate the MA from the actual columns or line, however you have the return oscillator set up to begin with. So those are pretty much the settings. They're very self-explanatory. Not hard at all, ladies and gentlemen, to set up this indicator. In my opinion, I'd throw this baby on default and I'd leave it there, right? Usually our default settings are pretty good. You know, we test a lot of stuff and the coders test a lot of stuff and they will put it out default. It's usually working the best when they're running a lot of tests. So always keep that in mind as well. Let's go down. And then, yeah, MA border. You know, how do you want the MA border? Obviously, you're not gonna have MA plot style online and put the border on area or anything. You want these both to line up. So if you have this on area, you want the border on the area down here. So there'll be a black border around the area. But yeah, simple. Style is just going to be the colors of everything. Right, it's real simple. You can change the colors up, right? The SD bands, the returns MA, the return moving average border, the returns border, and the actual returns. Everything's fully self-explanatory. And
if you're brand new, and you're wondering what he's talking about, that border, it's the line. When you have that line, there's a little border around that thin MA line right there. And that border you can change to different colors. So just to be clear, you know, I know it's a little, it is simple, but sometimes when you're brand new, you're like, what the hell is he talking about?
Oh, I mentioned it.
Yeah, I know you did. Yep.
And see, you can have it on here and just turn it off in the inputs. I mean, because of the color scheme I use, I don't need a black border around everything's separated pretty good. And it's not like I'm waving the light blue pink flag around. You know, I'm pink and blue proud, and this is what my indicators look like. The colors of my charts are they're colored that way because I recognize things better. These are the colors I like to recognize on my chart because I am the Cyclops trader. So I got to figure out a way for me to see my chart the best way possible. But that is our alpha laser returns. Very good, very easy indicator to use. Like I said before, I recommend using it on default. You can change it up if you want, but this thing is built in, ready for action, so you can start to spot divergences between price action and returns. I can't say this enough. I use this specifically for divergence between price action and returns. That is what this is built for, right? And it's also showing you that return candle. And here's another thing that you're going to notice. You see how the returns candle, this is when you know you've got proper math being used. When you get a returns candle like this, and it goes outside the third standard deviation right there, right? You can see it popping. It goes right outside third standard deviation. Look up here on the price action candle. It gets right outside. It closes right outside third standard deviation level. Now, at one time, this returns candle, if I would have had a fourth standard deviation, it would have been up here, just like the wick. The returns candles don't leave wicks behind. But at one point, this return candle was up in this area right here, right about where the wick was. It got up to about 4.5 standard deviations. But look where it closed, right outside the third standard deviation. So the price action candle closed outside the third standard deviation, and the returns candle closed right outside the third standard deviation. Why is it so correct? Because we use proper math, right? That's why. Very powerful indicator. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for today. Hopefully you got a little something out of the stream. There's usually dropped. If you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, we're here Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Most weeks, 5 days a week. Sometimes I have a little something going on and can't make the stream, which is okay. But the link to our Discord, it's in the description of all our videos. You want to get access to our free chart indicators, where I suggest you learn the basics of volatility trading first. You got to come into the Discord and open up a ticket. Okay, now you can go in immediately and download the free chart, but there's a couple indicators on there that are private. You have to get access to. If you want to find out about our paid packages, you want to find about our all these beautiful indicators. Here's our alpha trading page. Look at all these beauties, right? A lot of these are on our paid package. Okay, so if you want to learn about all these indicators, learn how to purchase them, you got to come into our Discord. Like I said again, the link is in the description of all of our videos. If you saw something you liked in our video, give us a thumbs up. Help the algo push our vids. All right, we don't do any advertising at all. This is organic growth, and that's the way we want it. Traditional TA is a cult. We're not a cult. We teach people how to trade here. That's what we do at Alpha Trading. At first, it's a little overwhelming, but if you give it some time and study this stuff, you can figure it out. You're going to want to subscribe to our channel, right? Hit the notification bell. And other than that, as usual, I want to thank everybody who watches Discord. We appreciate you guys. You can almost guarantee 6 founders are always in here. It's already dead. Yasha likes to start the stream. He ends up falling asleep because he's over in that time as well. But most of the times, all 6 of the founders of Alpha Trading are in the Discord watching the stream, right? Supporting each other. So we want to thank you for your support. We want to urge you to come join our Discord. And that being said, if you guys didn't know, this bad fire we're having in Northern California is 5 miles from the Tahoe Basin right now. It's on the West Coast. It is priority. There are hotshot crews from Washington, Oregon, Arizona, New Mexico. They're all here in Tahoe right now trying to keep the fire out of the Tahoe Basin. Because if that fire gets over the ridge, I mean, we're talking 10,000 foot peaks, mountain peaks. If it gets over that ridge into the Tahoe Basin, it's bad news because it's a tinderbox up here. It hasn't rained all summer. We had a very bad winter last year. So everybody send a prayer out for the Tahoe Basin and all these firefighters out here fighting the most destructive fire in California history. And that's why it's so smoky in the Carson Valley. Smoking 20 packs of cigarettes a day, it's not the case. I'm inundated with smoke. It's really bad. But wherever you live on this big marble, have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon. We'll see you Monday. Yes, MJ, I know it's Friday. We'll see you Monday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Everybody take care.